The Jacob Media Sports Network, in partnership with 97.3 ESPN, brings you the Mays and Eytan Show.
Middays with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander.
Now, it's the Midday Show with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander on 97.3 ESPN Radio.
And we are live on a Friday at Parks Casino for the next 2 hours, handing out all types of betting and fantasy information as we normally do on a daily, now weekly basis here at the Sportsbook, the beautiful Sportsbook. In fact, I was talking to Thomas Drayton from Fox 29 this morning.
Yes.
On the early hit on Good Day.
What time was this? 5:45 a.m.?
This was 5:42 as we were about to be on at 5:45 a.m., correct.
Now, do you do that? Do you FaceTime that from the house, or do you actually
drive
down?
No.
You schlep down there at 5 a.m.?
I do it for two reasons. One, because I enjoy sitting next to them, and there's a fun segment, and they like me, and they like – I'm the only one that does it.
Right.
So they don't have any other live guests on that show. So there's some sort of moment of pride. It's not like the next show from 6 to 8 where they have 15 different guests on, and I'm one of, a many on any given day. The other reason is because I do a second hit at 7:45. That's all.
Right.
So my point of it being that I asked him, he's like, no, I heard good things, heard you guys talking about it. The buzz is still carrying over. And I think for people out there who are on their way, and he said he's going to make an effort, if not this week, the next week, to come up and hang out, place a bet. We'll get to a ton of different betting-related things. The DraftKings lineup that I had going last night in that there's this feature, I don't know if you do it, where you choose one game and you just pick guys in each game.
No, I have yet to do that.
I did that last night. Actually won some money.
What a dog game that was to pick players in.
That's why I did it. And you have this thing called a captain, where you select that Now, you pay a little extra, like 1.5 times more, but you get the 1.5 times fantasy point in return.
Gotcha.
So my captain was Winston.
Okay.
So, he wasn't terrible.
No, he didn't throw a pick.
That's the point,
right? See, that's where we are with Jameis Winston right now, where a game where he throws for 200 yards and completes 16 out of whatever, but he doesn't throw an interception is a great game. Where you're like, man, he wasn't terrible last night.
Right.
That's where his career is right now.
He wasn't terrible last night.
He didn't lose him the game.
Exactly.
Right.
That's like a step up from the guy who's starting Monday night for the Jets.
Right. Keep in mind, this guy was the number 1 overall pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, think about this. As much criticism and heat that Cam Newton has gotten, and I'm going to say separate this phrase, splice it. Because there's Cam Newton up until last night, and then there's what we saw last night. Mm-hmm. Something is, and let's start in reverse, something is significantly wrong, Harry, with Cam Newton.
Was that why he's wearing the scarves?
You think
he thinks he's Prince? I think he's channeling Prince. You know what I mean? Like maybe he should play for the Vikings. That way he could wear purple and play in Minneapolis, and then wear the scarves.
Purple Rain? Is there a song right now by Prince or some Prince faction that would best signify or symbolize what he's going through?
I would have to research that.
Me too.
I don't have that off the top of my head.
I'll tell you what, 609-403-097. If there's nothing this text board is good for, it is that right there.
What Prince song best typifies Cam Newton right now?
Right. Now, I think Purple Rain might be one, but to your point, if he played in Minnesota, it would be on the money.
Yes.
So Cam Newton and the Panthers are shot. No, please. That's what we do. The Panthers are shot.
Yeah.
The Bucs, sloppy victory. Thank God we can put that thing aside.
Yeah, 4 field goals and a safety is all Carolina could muster last night.
Correct.
And then they do that stupid direct snap thing to McCaffrey to end the game to try to get it. They got a 6'5", 270-pound quarterback, and they direct snap to McCaffrey on a 4th and 2.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's how the game ended.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, not you. Yeah. Like, are you serious that you would not?
Yeah.
Who's the best short yardage runner in the NFL, you think? Cam Newton, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd be hard-pressed to think,
mainly
a guy with
because
his size.
he's not at the mercy of somebody getting him the football.
Exactly.
Like, that's a huge element of Christian McCaffrey or anybody else. Somebody actually has to throw, or even the 1,000, 2,000 to hand the football off.
Well, it was a direct snap.
But to McCaffrey.
Yes.
Right. But you know that it's a lot. There's not anywhere near the amount of threat for McCaffrey to throw the football as Cam Newton is.
Exactly.
So a direct snap to McCaffrey throws you off for like a half a second.
Exactly.
Or you're preparing for it if he's out there and Cam isn't. That's my point, though, of it. The difference is those two teams aside, pardon me, we can finally put this thing behind us. And we can get into the actual weekend because, my God, Thursday Night Football was brutal. Now, before we talk about the Eagles, I have a question for you.
All right, but that game was reminiscent of the games 2-3 years ago on Thursday Night Football where the matchups were just kind of bad or just uninteresting and the games sucked. Last year, Thursday Night Football was pretty good.
Yes.
Okay, so, hopefully the rest of the weekend gets better.
I think it will.
Yeah.
Now, I know Thursday night didn't suck. It was just the game that sucked because I hear rave reviews from screwballs.
Oh, my God.
Like we had rave reviews Monday night at the Landmark.
Yeah. Well,
maybe there's a common theme here.
But I don't think you had Henry Racich in the house at Landmark.
Well, I don't think you had John McMullen and Colin Thompson.
We had John McMullen on the phone. It's not the same.
No,
I know.
There is it's not subtle. There is a significant difference between McMullen like John McMullen at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Great insight. The YouTube video through the roof. John McMullen sitting next to you.
Yeah.
It's a different experience.
He and Bruno look like brothers from another mother, too. Yeah. I mean, they look like twins.
The bright light doesn't help them.
Well, the bright lights were on last night. We had a blast. It was a good time.
It was. Yeah, it was on Twitch.
Yeah, it was on Twitch. Miss Robin had the whole thing going with that. She sets all that up. And we're going to be there every Thursday.
Correct.
I believe including the Thursday night football game coming up with the Eagles and the Packers at the end of the month.
Well, that's a huge one because I believe that the Monday night show is qualified. We qualified 2 people last week. We're going to qualify 2 people this Monday for tickets to Green Bay.
To that game, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We sent that young woman out there to Dallas, Washington, and New York, technically Jersey, to MetLife.
Yeah, she hasn't gone yet.
But we're going to send her.
She is going, yeah.
We sent her the tickets. Or at least they're available.
Right.
Now, I have a stat for you, Harry.
What's wrong with Twitter right now? I'm about ready to smash my iPhone and smash my MacBook Air.
I don't understand why.
Nothing's loading for me. Are you having issues?
No. In fact, I'm pulling Tim McManus's Twitter account
I'm trying to tweet about the show, and nothing is going through.
I think it's your laptop and the connection you might be dealing with since we're live at Parks.
It's all good.
I'll say that it's not mine.
Connection's all
my
good.
My Parks works. Yeah, your Parks works there.
Yeah.
Password. Maybe it's the laptop. I don't know. It's
Phone's
working
not
fine
either.
here. But I have a stat here that might make you change your mind about staying away from this Eagles game when it comes to a betting standpoint. All right?
Okay.
Now, normally right now, you're not going to touch the Philadelphia -2 in Atlanta, right? That's something
I might.
Earlier in the week, you said you were not.
No,
you were against.
I was against it last week. Last week was the game that I was not going to take the Eagles, but I wasn't taking the Redskins either. I was just staying away from the game. This
Are you
week,
going to?
I haven't given any indication yet. I may take the Eagles.
Well, why don't you give it? It's Friday. You might as well just let the cat out of the freaking bag at this point.
Well, it's only 12:10. We got time.
Listen, you announcing that you're betting on the game is not something that I think we should tease until 10 minutes to go. I think we should open this up and use it as a major talking point.
All right, I'm taking the freaking Eagles.
All right, there you go. How hard is that?
All right, that's it.
Now.
All right, is the show over now?
Yes, you
can
go.
I give my pick, I can go?
Listen, you're saying that you're taking the Eagles -2. You're not giving a score.
No.
You're not saying how it's going to happen. I'm just making sure that you're either taking the game or not. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I'm taking the game.
Okay. So there are a lot of people out there that from last week, I know got burned in the ass like I did with that backdoor cover. This is something that I saw this morning from Tim McManus from Twitter that made me rethink this game and jump on the Philadelphia Eagles like you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles DC, and here's the thing, it's based on belief. Like, I have to take a leap of faith, which isn't a large one, but I have to take a little leap of faith and believe the guy. Not Tim, but Jim Schwartz. From McManus, at Tim_McManus. Eagles defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz isn't big on blitzing, but tends to turn up the heat on Matt Ryan. In the 3 games versus Atlanta since 2016,
Where they've won all 3.
the Eagles blitzed him on 26.8% of his dropbacks. They have, correct, Harry.
That's 1/4 of his dropbacks.
Against all other teams in that time, the Eagles blitzed on just 19, under 20% of dropbacks.
Okay.
You know Matt Ryan is going to get good protection. Now, here is the only
I don't know
concern
that.
that I have. Well, he's gotten good protection. That's why they've blitzed.
Yeah, but he's also got a different lineup in front of him. They had the 2 rookies on the right side. One of them got hurt and is out. He was the better player, too,
Right.
Lindstrom from Boston College, and they got a journeyman in there at right guard. So this could really change things for them.
So I wonder if, because you're dealing with new talent on that side, if there's less of a reason to blitz and more of a reason to just trust Old Faithful, which is, hey, our guys up front are better than most guys up front. If you're not going to blitz on bad teams, like that 19.2% of dropbacks, and you're going to blitz on good teams' offensive line, wouldn't it stand to reason that this would be seen as a bad offensive line now?
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe he plays this, he's got some, blitzes on the card, but he's just going to see, hey, we're getting pressure with a front 4 to begin with. There's no need for me to turn up the heat,
Or it's something where he comes into it exactly right, but he has to get to that point. Is my point.
Right.
Like it might take a quarter or 2. It might take 2 quarters, like a half, for him to look up and say, all right, man, this is crazy. I thought that my front 4 would be able to handle this front 5, especially because you're dealing with 2 new guys, fill in the blank, et cetera, et cetera. Now I can't get any I'm going to have to turn the blitzing up. Like, I can see a change and adjustment. Both guys, Peterson and Schwartz, are hell of a halftime adjusters.
Right. I'm not worried about really Schwartz and his plan. What I want to see from the Eagles this week is offense early, first quarter scoring. Get out of the gate. We've seen this all last year, and we saw it last week with slow starts.
So that's more important. And again,
to me, that's more important.
And listen, I'm not creating any type of line and saying, by you saying one's more important, the other is completely distant. But I'm saying more so is, when I ask what's more important, which you've answered, it's more like, what do you think of first? And are we dealing with a chicken and egg?
Well,
let me ask you that, because I think the pass rush and not being able to get to Matt Ryan and then scoring points feeds into the Philadelphia Eagles' slow start. Next thing you know, you're down 17-0, or slow start, no points on the board, too much pressure on the defense. Pass rush can't get any pressure on Ryan. Next thing you know, you're down 17-0. Is it one of these scenarios?
I think
like chicken and egg.
Yeah, I think it is. But I think initially, and maybe this plays into what happens with the coin toss. If the Eagles win the toss, do they defer on the road like they typically do?
Yeah, I think you do.
They do that at home. I think you would want the ball,
and just to set the tone.
Set the tone. Get a drive going and put points on the board.
Will you be betting the coin toss?
No, I will not. What do you think I am? Gretzky's wife?
Wait a second.
She always bets that at the Super Bowl and puts big money on that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She's a notorious gambler.
Okay. But does she notoriously put big wagers on other props as well?
Yeah,
or is it just that?
It's a lot of stuff.
So she'll do color of the Gatorade.
Oh, yeah.
She'll do length of the anthem.
Is always one. Yeah.
Coin toss is always mentioned.
Yeah, I've never gotten involved in a coin toss.
Maybe this year. Especially if we're down there. At Harry Mays, TU is how you get him on Twitter. At Shander Show for me, right?
But I understand you ran into a couple guys near your hood that listened to the show and gave you one of their favorite drops already.
Yes.
Explain this to the people.
Well,
because this is great.
I'm going to say we're going to talk a lot more about it on Monday because they're going to be there. Kenny and Craig are
they're going to be there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
During the show.
So I'm going to meet these guys.
Yeah, we can give them a shout. They're fencing company. Give them a huge shout and everything. They're going to do the yard because it's all for the damn dog anyway.
Right. Everything's for the dog.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Now, again, shop this thing around. These guys, they didn't even realize, this wasn't a Twitter thing. This was through Home Advisor.
Mm-hmm.
But he quoted the Twitter
Advisor.
drop. Sick and tired of that goddamn Twitter.
Oh, yeah, they love that one?
Unbelievable, man. I can't believe that that thing is catching fire.
Already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like one of your old ones that's been around forever.
I'm sick of goddamn Twitter. There it is.
It's unbelievable.
My tweet
He's
just
sick of
went
these
through.
algorithms.
I'm sick of algorithms.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Sick of these
Don't
algorithms.
try to predict what I'm going to do. Don't try to predict text of what I hate that. I turn all that stuff off.
You don't use it on your Gmail now, huh?
I don't use it anywhere.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
making sure.
Yeah.
609-403-0973.
I'm sick of these devices thinking that they can figure me out because they can't.
Yeah, they got you.
No,
already.
they can't.
Didn't you see Westworld, man? They
No,
got you.
I did not.
They got you by the stones. You're done.
Is that right?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, everything. Here's the thing. You think that everybody thinks that they get us through monitoring, right? Everybody thinks that they get us through cameras.
What,
and
listening to us
Look,
and
right,
stuff?
listening. And no. They get us through what we buy. That's what they get. Everything, like our habits, especially now online. Like, think about it. If you're a pervert, and there's nothing wrong with being a pervert as long as you're not hurting anybody. I don't care what you do to somebody else with consent.
Right,
and
right.
I certainly don't care what you do to yourself. Go
Right,
ahead and do
yeah.
whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
to
whatever you
yourself.
want.
But my point of it is, if you do things that you yourself think that society may frown upon you buying in public, think about how much more you can buy online and not have to deal with anybody. I don't see the Amazon person at all when I buy all the electronic stuff that I get for the show and things like that. That's what I'm saying, is that it's so far removed.
Yeah, I try to not buy things from Amazon. The only thing I buy from Amazon is books.
Listen, my point of it is more so that anything you buy electronically is now, it has always been tracked. And
I know,
now,
I'm aware of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you to get off Facebook is a brave move, my friend,
Yes,
and I
sir.
commend you for it. But the reality is that even if you were to get off your phone, even if you get off all the electronic stuff, anytime you buy something,
Yeah, I know.
that's how they really
Yeah,
get you, man.
I get it,
All
but
right?
they don't get me. Let's just trust me.
Yeah.
Because I buy things when I need them,
Yeah,
not
right.
when they think I need them.
Yeah,
now I
right.
hear the text board is humming.
Yeah, how about them Panthers?
Yeah.
12:01.
They stink.
Good thing I went to sleep. That was Loke.
Yeah, I fell asleep too, which is
Not
rare.
woke.
No, Loke.
Rick and EHT, Prince song to best describe Cam Newton, Let's Go Crazy, simply based on his wardrobe. Oh.
Okay.
Now, see, the first one we get is a banger.
That's
I
a
like
good
it.
tune.
That is a good one.
I saw Prince once. He
Never
was
have.
amazing live.
Really?
Absolutely incredible.
I remember a couple of years ago after the Eagles drafted Wentz, multiple analysts saying Wentz and Goff were nowhere near as good as Winston and Mariota.
I know.
That didn't hold up too well.
How about that? I mean,
It's a great memory.
It really is. You know, that 1-2, and I remember a lot of people saying that too. And I'm like, well, we're going to see this play out. I didn't necessarily believe in Goff,
No.
and his first year gave me no real indication to think that I was wrong.
No.
But now with a couple of years of coaching with McVay and all those weapons, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. And you see he's not fallen off. He's not allowed defenses and a lot of times scheme to catch up to him. And you know what? A lot of that is because of his Let's Go Crazy.
Now
a lot of that is because of McVay.
Now, I also think he was drafted by the perfect team in that perfect environment.
Yes.
I don't think Goff could coexist in the Northeast, playing in the bitter cold, and you know what I mean, like
For the Jets.
Right, in a windy environment.
He'd catch
and cold.
mono.
Right, he'd catch mono. Right.
Live at Parks Casino, man. Look at this sports book. It's already up. You can see a picture of it at Harry Mays TU at Shander Show. Harry put a pic up of this beautiful stretch screen, and we'll get to our college picks in the second hour. Mike K. I got you already.
All right.
Mike K. is going to join us at 1 o'clock. He'll give us thoughts on anything that he suffered through last night like you and I did, and, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. Dan from EHT, Cam is the perfect quarterback, slow and accurate, no arm strength.
Cam's got arm strength.
Yeah, and
What's he talking about?
he's definitely not slow.
No, I mean he's obviously not what he was because the injury toll has really slowed him down. He's not
Right.
what he was, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Now, Dan also wants to know, are we fellas done on the Phillies still?
Yeah, I know they won last night. They hit a bunch of home runs.
They're two back.
Right. They split the series with the Braves. Good for them. But now you've got Milwaukee, who I believe is tied with the Cubs.
Right.
And then you've got the Arizona Diamondbacks in there and the Mets.
All of a sudden,
All
here
of a
come the
sudden,
Mets.
yeah,
right?
here we go.
And the Diamondbacks refuse to die.
No, they don't die.
It's amazing, too, because of all the teams you've mentioned, they're the least talented.
Those snakes are tough to kill, man.
Well, Yelich is gone now. That's a big blow to Milwaukee,
It is.
but it's not like they've tanked and nosedived.
No.
Now, that's the thing about baseball. You can, just like you can have a Mike Trout and not sniff the playoffs, you can have a guy who's having a good year and your team around him is having a great year as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I heard this morning? The Phillies, and this is not a surprise, the Phillies are having their best TV year since 2012, I think it is.
Oh, really? Well, that doesn't surprise me.
No. Harper's a huge
Harper's a huge part of that.
Right.
Real Muto's
Right.
good watch.
But, it's something to keep in mind, which is a lot of times people will bring up attendance. It's an easy radio way to kill 2 or 4 hours. Like, if you can't kill 4 hours talking about a Mike Scott fight, then you can talk about attendance. That's an easy way to just kill 4 hours. Attendance. But the reality is that if you match attendance with ratings, then you'll see at times nobody's watching, nobody's showing up. But there could be a case like the Phillies, Harry, where nobody's showing up, but
They bought tickets, though.
well, people. I don't agree with the
You don't
paid
think so?
attendance. No, you look at that stadium.
Paid, not butts in seats.
That paid could be by a corporate thing given away to kids, and those kids don't show. Who knows?
Well, but whatever. The corporation bought the tickets.
Yeah, but nobody's in those seats.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I don't count that unless there's a living, breathing.
I
Put a
don't know.
dog in a seat.
I
At
don't
this
know.
point.
If I'm the corporation selling the tickets, I'm looking at what I've sold. I mean, if you don't want to come, that's on you. But I got 23,000 receipts that I've sold a ticket.
But to your point, then you can have a ballpark with 8,000 people in it, 25,000 paid attendance. It's still, from an optic standpoint,
doesn't look good.
No. But if your team is now up from a TV rating 20%, and it's the highest it's been in 7 years, is there really that much of a problem?
No.
Now, from a team standpoint, there is, but from an R standpoint, is there?
No, probably not. If you're the owner.
No.
No.
So I give people credit, man. They stuck through this thing. As tedious as this was, and as much of a knockdown, drag-out, long, 15-round bantamweight fight where you knew nobody was going to get knocked down, I give people a lot of credit, man. Glenn and EHT's on the line, Harry. Glenn.
Yo,
What's
fellas,
up, Glenn?
What's going on? Nothing much. We're talking about big arm quarterbacks. To me, that's like the last thing I want to hear about my quarterback. The big arm is so overrated. To me, Cam Newton has been the kind of – he's a pitcher that only has a fastball. He has no touch. He's never really had touch. His
that's
athleticism and his whole thing is just his aura. I mean, him as a quarterback, he's just okay. He had some special moments here and there, but he's never been that good a passer. And that's what a quarterback is.
No, you're right. You got to have touch too. You're right about that. You got to be able to make, as they call it, all the throws. But I don't devalue a strong arm, especially when you're in Philadelphia and your quarterback has to make throws in a windy stadium in December. That to me is a big deal. Depending on where you play.
If I heard, maybe that could be definitely considered. But a lot of times when I hear they talk about a big arm quarterback, I almost want to stay away from him. I want the guy to just be accurate more than big arms.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
If that's the only asset that the guy has, then I'm concerned.
Yeah, actually, Glenn,
Right.
it's interesting. I think that Winston is more of that prototypical can only throw big and can't do much more. Like, he doesn't have speed.
No.
He doesn't have great agility. Cam Newton, well, I agree with you. Cam Newton at times relies on the cannon and not much short mid-range accuracy enough to be up there. We're still talking about a guy who, when healthy, has had some really big success in the NFL.
I don't think he's ever really had great receivers.
No.
I mean,
Do you
really
think
think
DJ
about it.
They devalued. What was Calvin Benjamin? Was he a top receiver or never was?
Well, he was a first-round pick, but now I don't
think he
even
lived
know
up
if he's
to
in
that.
the league anymore, is
Yeah, DJ Moore might be the best
Well,
guy he's ever had.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Steve
look
Smith.
at Cam as one of those
Thanks,
guys.
Josh.
Steve Smith, okay. Yeah, he's just
No, but
okay.
here's
I
the
mean,
thing.
Those guys,
One guy doesn't make or break, especially Steve Smith.
oh, no, absolutely not. But he's just been too inconsistent and too erratic
right.
for me to think he's anything special.
Listen, I think that's a
That's
good way to
fair.
end the call.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't know. I'd almost throw it out there. Now, we've got Eagles stuff to get to. We'll dive into this thing with Jim Schwartz and the blitz and the line.
And I want more of these Prince songs to describe
Absolutely.
Cam Newton.
A Prince song to describe Cam Newton.
He's wearing the Prince scarves.
I don't know how, like, if Cam Newton were to retire today, like Andrew Luck retired, right? Mm-hmm. If Cam Newton were to come out and say, listen, I can't do it anymore. My
body's beat up.
How would we look at him? How would we look? Like Andrew Luck, I think we look at a guy that is completely short of living up to the hype and talent that we've seen. He's probably one of the best one of the best prospects in the NFL.
I mean, his first 3 years, he took the Colts to the playoffs, and they went one stage further each time. He got them to the AFC Championship game.
And that's what I think his
body
moments will
started
be.
to break down.
Right.
Never had a good offensive line until it was too late.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
A lot of that's Ryan Grigson's fault.
Yeah, I agree.